I thought I'd learn more Spanish, and that he'd be very good at English, and that I could teach more grammar instead of punctuation and
I thought
vocab.
that my student would prefer to learn English by reading or writing, but my student actually prefers speaking, so finding topics that are interesting to speak about is really fun.
I imagine my students would know some phrases and words, and that our time would be spent with them asking me questions about the language or certain aspects of our culture they didn't understand. Although I speak Spanish well, I was not expecting to use
Thought
it.
this would help me discern if becoming a teacher was something that I wanted to do.
Golden hand, oh, tell you to run.
My student is probably in her 40s or 50s and works mornings, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., in a dish room of a dining hall. She's from Juarez, Mexico. Though she's usually stuck in the back of the house, where she doesn't really get to talk to anyone, she has the most outrageous sense of humor and is very outgoing. She has the little English she does know, cheerfully and mischievously. Her vibrant personality hides the terrible past she's had. She often struggles with literacy, and remembering everything is tough for her, but she braves it with a toothy grin and a bright, "Hello, teacher," every time I walk in to tutor her.
My student is originally from Nepal. It's hard for her to pronounce certain words, like words with S or TH, and differentiate between FP or BV sounds, but she tries very hard in class and is improving, which is pretty encouraging for me as a teacher.
I've had 3 students. My first was a 30-year-old illiterate male who showed signs of learning disabilities but yet never allowed them to hold him back in his everyday life. He was a fighter, and though he struggled, he always came to class eager and ready to challenge himself.
There are moments when we have not completely understood each other. With past students, there have been moments that my student and I could not communicate at all. But in the end, we both smile and laugh, and how funny our methods, like using huge hand gestures and getting the point across. While we may not speak the same language perfectly, we're both human beings, and that breaks down all the communication obstacles.
It took some time for my student to be comfortable with me.
We had to negotiate how we would greet one another because I like hugs and kisses. We talked about it, and now we greet each other with a kiss on the cheek, just like old friends.
Using our language skills to achieve a common understanding of a concept, notion, or idea. For example, understanding the concept of interesting without using the word interesting in a sentence. If it weren't for his patience and my limited Chinese language skills, we'd still be on this adjective.
Seeing her happiness and pride after she successfully wrote all 26 letters without a mistake was one of the best feelings I've ever had. She also started calling me Iha, daughter.
Even though my student is a citizen, he didn't realize there was a Washington State and a Washington, D.C. This conversation resulted in a world geography lesson in which we both learned more about each other and provided a foundation for future lessons.
She came to class one day with a friend whose teacher had been sick. We worked together on the day's assignment and had a great time laughing. Ever since, we have co-taught our class, and I've seen improvements in both students from being able to work together. We've all really become friends now.
My preconceived notions changed considerably once I met my student because she was initially very timid. I spent a lot of extra time trying different ways to convey information to her. I was very surprised to find out that she didn't know any English.
I went into classes without any preconceived notions, so things really haven't changed.
At this point, I am still not sure if I would like to become a teacher. However, this experience has helped me in understanding the process of creating and executing a lesson plan.